Okay, here's a quick tutorial on how to look at the dashboard on your CRM here in REI Navigator. So the first thing you'll see when you click on dashboard, it's going to just show all the different opportunities, which one has won, lost, and converted. The most important here is for those that are doing sales. It's coming here, you'll be able to see your task. You can see what's pending or overdue because of these dates that you have here. And so here you can quickly see how to get your day started by sorting this by the day that is due. And then here it gives you a list of all the different lead sources that the company is supplying. And so that gives you that. If you guys are running Google Analytics and you connect it with your Google account, it should go ahead and give you all this data in regards to the amount of people that are visiting your sites, how many views, how many clicks, things of that nature. This company is running Facebook. And so for the dates that it has here, which is about 30 days worth, it just shows that for Facebook, they had 573 clicks. The spend was about $3,000, and the cost per click was about $5.28. So that's really good. And so that's all you need to really know about the dashboard. You can always come in here and create specific views in the dashboard. So if you want to measure more data or manipulate the data, you can come in here and play with the dashboard. Typically, when you click on this icon right up here with the question mark, you can go ahead and learn more about that, or click on learn more about dashboards to give you better understanding on how dashboards work and how you can track better KPI with utilizing the dashboard widget app. Okay, so here's my favorite aspect of the CRM. This is basically where I shine, where I help a lot of my clients figure out how to do proper lead management so they can maximize their outcome on the leads that they're paying for. So it's basically living in the opportunities tab. So if you're in the sales side of things, you can build multiple workplaces or pipelines. Here we've designed this where we have an acquisitions pipeline, we have a disposition transaction coordinator pipeline, we have a cash buyer pipeline, and then we also have a side pipeline because we do some joint venture disposition for joint venture leads, and I have an admin lead. So here we're going to focus on the acquisition side of things because that's basically our bread and butter. All the leads for every lead source, whether you're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, pay-per-click ads, you're doing PPL, pay-per lead, you're doing direct mail, cold calling, SMS. I have all of them funneled directly here into the CRM under new untouched. This gives me an indication that obviously I have a brand new lead. And normally you would have here, if you map it correctly, whether you're doing it through a Zapier or web form, or if you're doing an import from an Excel spreadsheet. However you set it up, you always have to make sure that you have, this campaign running the right way, where you have the seller name. Typically, I like seller name and address because it makes it a little bit easier when you're doing search. You have the opportunity source here so that you know what kind of lead it is. And then, of course, you're able to then get a notification. Me personally, I like to connect this with my Slack because I can go ahead and do a notification on my Slack that lets me know that I got a brand new lead. So the system would be able to go ahead and give you a notification via text message, email, internally here in the notification app here where it says notification, and you can also send notification to your Slack. My preference is Slack because I live in Slack, and so I get to see all that data throughout the day of all the leads that are coming in. When the lead comes in, let me give you an example because I don't have a new lead in there, but when the lead comes in, we have an automation that's already pre-built and where they would get text messages and emails for when the lead is inserted into the new lead untouched. And so when that comes in, they normally have a text message and emails that are getting sent just like this, and where the seller can respond and also click on our link to create an appointment as well. So that's pretty neat. that it does all of this, and it sends out these text messages automatically to engage with the seller as fast as humanly possible. Once the new lead is called, the way that I manage it is that if I call the lead and the lead does not answer, then I automatically move it to attempted contact. And in an attempted contact, it's going to send them another text message letting them know that, hey, we attempted to reach you. And that lead lives in attempted contact for a max of 24 hours. After 24 hours, that the lead has been in existence, that it's been created, and I've made multiple calls throughout the day to reach them, and I cannot get them on the phone. I then move it the next day into what is called perseverant, and where this is basically like a 10 days of nonstop texting, calling, voicemail, email campaign in order to try to get a hold of this seller, right, of this lead. If I do get in contact with them, hear from new leads untouched, normally what I do so that there's no automation like text messages and emails continuously sending to people that I already have on the phone, I automatically move this to contacted follow up. So, for example, let's just say I got in contact with Jonathan. Basically, what I would do is I would scroll down to where it says opportunity. I would click on this little tab there, and here I would just change it to contact follow up. As soon as I click there, then there's no more automation for new text messages and emails to be sent out. So that's how I manage that as far as the leads that I do get in contact with. Now, again, if I don't get in contact with them, they're going to the attempted contact or persevering where they're getting automation text messages and emails. If the seller responds or this lead responds to any of those automated messages for the first time, then it would go into respond that needs attention. In response that needs attention, all it does is just lets us know, hey, this seller responded to your text messages or email. Go ahead and make sure to get in contact with them. So here, this bucket is very important because it is just as important as a brand new lead. They finally responded back to one of our text or email campaign. And once I grab a hold of this opportunity and I go ahead and give it a call, they finally answer, then of course it's going to contacted follow up. Okay. Now, going back to persevering here, if I have a lead I've been trying for the last 10 days to try to get a hold of them and I can't. Basically, okay, so now on these perseverance 2 to 10, if I cannot get a hold of these sellers after going 10 days of trying to text message and call and email these folks, typically what I end up doing is that I have a space called an admin pipeline, and where in the admin pipeline I can send this to pending skip trace, meaning I need this seller or this lead to be skip trace. And so once I click on this, my admin will get a notification that we need to be skip tracing this particular prospect for their new phone number or other phone numbers that may be related to them, so that we can try to get them on the phone because we potentially have a bad phone number. Once that admin has completed the task, she or he will then just send it back to our acquisitions pipeline under skip trace completed. Once that's taken care of, then we'll have here this particular lead in skip trace completed with the right phone numbers or the additional phone numbers for us to continue to try to get in contact with these folks and be able to make an offer or sell our services. So that's how I handle the perseverant, where you have the text messages, emails for the next 10 days. If I can't get a hold of them, I just switch this over to the admin pipeline, which you have to create, and then send it over to pending skip trace, and where the admin gets a notification, then sends it back to the acquisitions with a skip trace complete, and where the acquisition agent, salesperson, gets a ping that the skip trace has been completed, and they are able to go ahead and try to call the new number. So hopefully that makes sense. Then we'll move on to appointment set. All right. So the appointment set is more of an automated queue that has been created. A lot of times, what we do is within the text messages or email that we sent from the beginning of the funnel, the homeowner or the person that you're trying to reach, the prospect that you're trying to reach, can get a link in where if you've mapped your calendar right in the settings, you can create an appointment calendar, and where once they click on that link, it will then send the lead over to appointment set so that it can start some automation and where it can remind the seller the day before, an hour before, 15 minutes before your appointment to make sure that they show up to your appointment. So I really don't use this more than to put the leads that have actually booked an appointment, a telephone appointment with us, or even an in-house appointment, depending on how you set up your calendar, for them to get that automation, right? And so that's what I use the appointment set column for. But again, you would need to go ahead and set it up in your calendar's integration settings and create those type of links and workflow in order for that to sit in your appointments on autopilot by just obviously clicking here. Let's say they responded and they say, yes, let's go ahead and meet tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And they click on the link, they book their appointment, like a calendar type of ordeal. It would automatically move it to appointment set, and then you will see the lead in appointment set. And so that's how I utilize appointment set. Again, it's more automation than it is a manual setting appointment type of ordeal. All right, and so now we are in contact follow-up in the lead management. These are leads here that I finally got on the phone. I finally was able to have a conversation with them. And they sit here for multiple reasons. Number one, I finally got a contact with them. Maybe they say, hey, look, this is not really a phenomenal time to speak. Could you call me back later on today? Right? So those type of leads will go ahead and sit in contact follow-up. Or someone that says, listen, I completely understand where you're coming from with your service or product, your offer, but I need some time to sort of think about that offer and get back to you. I have to speak to family, friends, whatever. This is a bucket in where I have my clients and students put leads in here that is a short term follow up, meaning these people, we've gotten to the point in where they need to make a decision within the next day to no more than 6 weeks. So it would sit here, doesn't really do any automation. You don't have any fancy text messages or emails or voicemails or any of that being sent out because you've already built some sort of relationship and conversation with the seller, and you're just pending whatever that situation is before they can go ahead and make a decision or even discuss a specific offer on the property or the service that you're utilizing or selling rather. And so what I normally have them do is obviously create notes about the seller and all the situation that they spoke about. And then here there's a tab called tasks, and where you would go ahead and say, hey, it's time to make an offer on the 16th of April at 8 a.m. So let me set this up for myself. So you would just literally click on add, set make offer, right, or follow up, what have you. You can put a small description, then you will come here and assign it to yourself. And then here, obviously, make sure that you update when you want to call. You want to call on the 16th at 8 o'clock in the morning. You click on here, click save. And now you have a task that you can go back to our previous video on the dashboard. You will see on the dashboard for tomorrow. Or you can simply click on tasks here, and then you'll see the laundry list of work that you have to do for the day. So on the contact follow up, like I said, for our teams, it's only opportunities that are being worked that need to make a decision or have a follow up conversation within the next day to the next 6 weeks at very max. So like that, we can keep our pipeline, very in tune with the sales cycle and not get carried away with maybe leaving it forever or filling up this pipeline with leads that do not belong in a quick sale type of pipeline. So that is contact follow up. That's remember, 1 day to max of 6 weeks is where this lead sit there because there is no automation. This is just a relationship that you build and a future follow up that you will be making. All right. Finally, you've taken these people down this funnel. You started from new to attempted, persevering. You finally got them on the phone. Right now, the follow up is here, and it's time to go ahead and make an offer on those people that are ready for an offer with whatever product service that you're doing. It's for this training, it's for real estate wholesalers where you finally made an offer on the particular property, and basically what you end up doing is you will move this card from contact follow-up to offer made here. You would click on enter. When you make that offer, right, this lead sits here only for two things. Number one, for KPI tracking. Anytime you make an offer, whether it be verbal or written, okay, you're going to go ahead and click on offer made. Okay, once you click on offer made and you click save, let's just say that they say, hey, well, let me think about it. Well, this offer made can only be here for a max of 24 to 72 hours, depending on your company policy, because this is something that we're trying to get closed right away. This is not something that's to last forever or anything like that. This is a right away. Hey, we spoke. I did the follow up. We're here. Here's our offer. Are we going to move forward or we're not? If you get rejected on that offer, then basically what you want to do is you want to go ahead and move this to what is called a nurture campaign, which is this 6-month nurture that we have built out here. In where once you put it in a 6-month nurture, we have several campaign that go out, text messages and emails to re-engage with them in the future, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, if they did accept your offer and it's time to send out the contract, then obviously you would just move it to contract sent. Once you've sent over the contract, you click on update, and then it would go ahead and move it to contract sent. Now, there is no automation. There is nothing additional that happens when you move to contract sent. What would end up happening is here you treat this very similar to like your offer. The contract sent should only sit there for a maximum of 24 to 72 hours to get these people to go ahead and make a decision on moving forward and signing that agreement that you had. You can go back and forth with them and say, hey, are we signing or we're not signing? Is there anything to be edited in the agreement or what have you? You negotiate that and then finally move it over to under contract. Congratulations, you finally got them to sign the agreement and your offer that you've made. Now, before you go ahead and move it to under contract, there's a very specific thing that I would need each team to do just to kind of track KPIs. This is a newer account, so they're still going through some training on lead management. But basically, once you're here in contract sent, you would know more or less what this opportunity value is. So let's just say, for example, that it's a $10,000 payday for you guys. Then you would just go ahead and add the $10,000. And then once you've added that information and you've added the contract to the agreement to this lead, and by the way, basically what you do is you come in here, you open up this lead, and where it says documents, what you would end up doing is you would add this new file on here. So if you have a contract, you would just go ahead and add it here to the file, and then you have that embedded into the lead so that you can always find your document. And then another way that you can go ahead and change it is you just come here to that same opportunities tab at the bottom. You basically would go ahead, and now that you have all your information updated, all your notes and everything, you would put it under contract. Once you click on update, what it ends up doing is, and this is some specifically, it will go ahead and create a new opportunity in a different pipeline, because now that you've succeeded with that deal, let's just say you have a two-step process for sales, especially in real estate wholesaling. We go ahead and have the deal under contract. Now we have to sell that contract. So now that we have to sell that contract, it goes to the disposition TC pipeline and under new deal, right? New deal. So under this new deal, it would just come in here and chime the department for disposition in this case, right? And the transaction coordinator that we have a new deal to sell. And so here in this pipeline, it's a completely different pipeline, and where it just makes a copy of that opportunity with all the notes. That's why it's so important that prior to putting it under contract in your acquisitions pipeline, that you update all the notes, that you update the opportunity, that you update, all the fields that are required on the acquisition side, because it is going to make a direct copy here in order for that team to understand exactly why you put the deal together, what's the information on the deal, what are the notes on the deal, et cetera, et cetera. And so from here, they can start working on that pipeline, and I'll get in more detail on this pipeline on another video. But that's basically under contract here with the acquisitions pipeline. So remember to update everything here on the contract sent. Once everything is executed and everything is updated, then you go ahead and put it on the contract and just make sure that you're putting in the opportunity. This team has a lot more opportunity than it claims, so that's why it's important to please update that prior to put it under contract. And then in the next video, I'll show you what deal closed. All right. So now finally you got it on the contract. The disposition team from the other department finally got a buyer. You guys went to closing. The deal is already sealed. Basically, what ends up happening is that we can create an automation and where it will update this file and put it under this type of disposition. So basically, it would be deal closed. Then you can put exactly how much money you made on that deal, and then obviously change this from a status of open to one. When you do that, it creates the KPIs for you to understand like how much money the company brought in for each one of those deals. So in this case, this new CRM has 6 deals that they closed at $400,000 worth, and I think it's a little bit more than that because they missed one of these leads, so they just had to go ahead and update it. So it's over $400,000 in just 6 leads alone. So this team is crushing it. But that's the way that you kind of keep the KPIs tracking for the closed deals. So just have to make sure that once you close on the file, you're just basically updating 2 things. Number one, the opportunity value, and number two, the status from open to one, so that in your dashboard it reflects all the deals that you actually close all the way and make money.